How do you know about Hamilton watches? Maybe you were passed down one from a family member, so when you look at your watch box, you now have this little itty bitty kind of classic Art Deco-y dress watch you never wear except on special occasions. Or maybe you needed an everyday piece, so you landed on a Hamilton khaki field watch, which is, really rich history of military service, probably one of the most prolific field watch series ever made. Or maybe you wanted a modern, accessible, sophisticated, yet fairly affordable dress watch, so you got a Hamilton Jazzmaster. You can get some complications there, but still relatively affordable. Or maybe you went against the grain and you got one of the most obscure, never spoken about dive watches ever with the Hamilton khaki Frogman. I don't know a single person who's ever owned a Hamilton khaki Frogman, but I digress. Maybe you know Hamilton because of a movie or a TV show or a video game. Are you confused? Let me explain. It is 4:30 p.m. Let's get down to business. Now guys, this episode is brought to you by the Time Teller Shop. Go ahead, check it out right now. As of today, everything at the shop is under $400. Don't miss out. Hamilton Watches has been able to accomplish something that no other watchmaker has been able to replicate to this scale or anything even comparable. I'm talking about carving a path for themselves in the world of pop culture and cinema. That's right. Watches in movies, 9 times out of 10, will be Hamilton made. It's insane, okay? Whether it be movies, TV shows, or even video games now. Hamilton has their name on the character's wrist. Whether you like it or not, the watchmaker of Hollywood is Hamilton. And I know people are going to be like, well, there's other really famous watches from other people. I mean, Rolex and James Bond, or Omega and James Bond. And that's all well and good. I'm sure there are other very famous watches in pop culture. But when we're talking about just the sheer landscaping that Hamilton's been able to accomplish with their watches throughout decades and decades of pop culture and media, Hamilton's got it made. Don't believe me? Well, let's take a look. So the most recent Hamilton product placement is making a buzz around social media because Hamilton's own Instagram account just posted their collaboration with Dune. That's right, all you Dune heads out there are, dude, you want to get into some deep lore arguments? Just pronounce one of the weird names wrong to a Dune head, and they will correct you in a very, very respectful way, I'm sure. Sandworms. Anyway, so this, I have no idea how it's going to tell time. It's a Hamilton-made device. I don't know if it's supposed to be like a beep boop, projector thing. I don't know if it's going to be like a minute repeater where it's going to just have beeps and boops and frequencies that are going to tell you the hours and minutes as they elapse. But here it is on one of the characters' wrists. I mean, it looks cool. I have no freaking idea how it's going to work, but this is the most recent Hamilton item in popular media, but this isn't like a new phenomenon. If we look here at Hamilton watches on screen, this is a Worn and Wound article from 2014, and there's been a bunch since then. But Force 10 from Navarone, 1978, After Hours, 1985, ooh, nice little khaki, Cliffhanger, 1993, Drop Zone, 1994, Bad Company, 2002, Big Fish, 2003, The Raid Redemption, 2011, The Raid 2. Dude, by the way, you want to see some crazy hand-to-hand combat sequences? The Raid series, I think it's an Indonesian film, right? Dude, but either way, the Raid series, freaking incredible. I definitely recommend it. Here we see a Pan-Europe. But there's been a bunch of Hamilton watches in movies since 2014. So here's probably the most popular Hamilton movie watch, the Murph from Interstellar. Which I think is probably one of the best looking Hamilton movie watches, I'll say. Another one is from the Matt Damon Martian film. So what's funny is this, I think it's the khaki navy below zero is what they called it. This is supposed to look like very futuristic and industrial with the rivets on the bezel and everything. But the hilarious part is when you compare the below zero to this Dune watch, The Below Zero looks so vanilla and basic, but that's not because this is vanilla and basic. It's because this Dune watch is freaking crazy. Now, my personal favorite Hamilton movie watch is from the Jack Ryan series. I believe it was Amazon Prime series, but John Krasinski's wearing it here. This Hamilton khaki field day date chronograph. What's funny is this chronograph actually does have a threaded crown, but none of their other Hamilton khaki watches, unless the new Expedition. None of the other ones have threaded crowns, which they absolutely should. Anyway, whatever. So one of the most quirky Hamilton watches in film is the Hamilton Ventura. Okay, this is a watch that is very, very Art Deco, but they've stayed true. The series has stayed true where all of them, throughout all the movies, the characters are wearing Venturas, which is so cool to see. And of course, something as weird and quirky and silly as the Men in Black would wear something as weird and quirky and silly and classic as a Hamilton Ventura. Now, even more recent would be Oppenheimer. Okay, now what's funny about the Oppenheimer film is there's actually a few Hamiltons, I believe, in it. And they're these old school hammies, which I absolutely love. Being a vintage dealer, a vintage collector, it just totally pulls at my heartstrings. Didn't give an F about the movie. I didn't even see it. But yeah, apparently a bunch of cool old school hammies in that. And perhaps one of the most interesting new media product placements was in Far Cry 6, where one of the characters wore a Hamilton khaki field watch with a red second hand. Crazy. And you're actually able to purchase this watch. So it's very, very strange. Like, they're literally not satisfied with just television or just film. They want to go into true new media with like video games and everything. And I think that's awesome. And again, this is capitalizing to a level that no other watchmaker has been able to capitalize on. All right, guys, I will catch you on the next one. Stay happy, stay healthy, stay blessed. I'm Jory Goodman, the Time Teller. Always remember, I didn't invent time. I just tell it.